Usually, we find the world's top mountain bikers competing in picturesque mountain settings. However, today, we find ourselves in the imposing shadows of the medieval Nuremberg castle in a one-of-a-kind urban freeride park that weaves itself through 5 districts of this Franconian metropolis. Now, if the man-made obstacles and features were not enough in this setting, add 75,000 crazy fans all on hand to watch the world's top FMB competitors in their quest for the 2014 Diamond Series Championship. This, my friends, is District Ride, and you're watching the Red Bull Signature Series. Hey everybody, Sal Masekela here, your host of the Red Bull Signature Series, and allow me to welcome you to Nuremberg in the state of Bavaria, Germany. Now this is a city that is rich in history, dating all the way back to the Middle Ages, as it was once considered the unofficial capital of the Holy Roman Empire, right here at the Imperial Castle. It has survived wars, plagues, and the infamous trials of post-World War II, all while flourishing as a hub of trade, culture, and art. Today, this city is host to a modern marvel of urban freestyle, in which these riders will compete and push their creativity on a course that fans have come out in massive droves to see. Now, the event has been on hiatus since 2011, but today, Red Bull District Ride is back with a vengeance, as competitors will reach heights of up to 50 feet in the final Big Air District just behind me. Now this is the 4th stop on the FMB Diamond Series before we head to the pinnacle of the tour at Red Bull Rampage.
Thank you so much, Sal. A lot of anticipation, Kenan, as we get to work at Red Bull District Ride. First thing we need to know, judging criteria, what are they looking for?
They're going to be looking for amplitude, how high these riders are going, the difficulty of the tricks they're going to throw down, variations, how many tricks they're going to throw in these airs, execution, how clean that is, and then innovation. If you're going to do something new, you're going to get rewarded.
All right, it is the best of 2 runs before we drop our first competitor. Let's check in now with Tina Dixon.
Guys, I just spoke to the #1 qualifier, Nikolai Rogatkin, who is in his rookie year. In fact, his top finish so far is 4th place. Now, he did say he feels the pressure of qualifying in that #1 position, especially being right up there next to Brett Rheeder and Brandon Semenuk. He does like the course, however, said it can be exhausting in parts. There's a lot of pedaling. But the best part, however, is standing on top of that big air ramp, looking down at the crowd. You know District Ride is unique, and you want to throw something huge.
All right, we're set for our first competitor to drop in. It'll be 23-year-old Sam Reynolds out of Great Britain, now on course here at the District Ride.
Yes, and a big backflip off the castle drop to get things started. You heard the crowd get amped, I got amped, and into a flare right on that quarter. That is an incredible way to start this. Judges are going to be looking for the guys who start and end big.
There's 5 districts: the castle drop, the GoPro upside down, the 4-pack, the cannon, and of course, the big air. Ken, a little bit of time in between some of the districts, time for these guys to regroup and think of what they're going to do next?
Absolutely. These guys definitely have a plan in their head. They didn't have too much practice on the course, but these are professionals that are always just sending things at home, getting themselves dialed, and here is where you try out the new tricks. No-footed can-can one-hander on the GoPro step down there, the upside down rather, and then this open loop. That's just incredible. You just have to trust physics for that particular obstacle. Nice. Superman no-hander. And a big backflip tail. We are having a fantastic run from Sam Reynolds.
A lot of speed for Reynolds, making his way up and over the stairs.
And this is testament to the urban free ride. You know, they built in an obstacle that kind of looks like any kind of downtown, some steps for these guys to go off of. But that's one big step. And you could just see how perfectly he lands that backflip off the castle drop and then right into a flare. It's a 180 backflip so that he can get the front wheel back on that transition and roll to the next obstacle. Again, I love the open loop. It's a test of faith, kind of like Indiana Jones did there. And how about a nothing Superman? No hands, no feet, and a lot of style. Got the tail whip. Now this is difficult because there's really no lip. It's a bunny hop tail whip over those steps.
So 4 districts completed now for Sam Reynolds, the 23-year-old, and he's made his way up 4 flights in the elevator for the big drop.
This is a little nerve-wracking because you have that whole elevator ride to kind of think about what you're going to do, and that can detune you. How about it? Huge backflip, no-hander, and power slides out. Fist in the air. Good job from Reynolds.
So District 5 is complete as we look at it one more time.
Right, just throws those handlebars into his lap, and that's what's holding the bike to his body. Look at the extension, still spotting his landing with the head, gets the hands back on from pure feel and muscle memory, and then it is about connecting nicely with both wheels, letting that front suspension do a little work for you.
And the score for Reynolds coming down is a 77.98.
You know, you're bringing the mountains to the masses. It's really cool. As we watch Yannick drop in here, he's going to start things off really big.
'27-year-old Yannick Granieri out of Lyon, France.
Uh-oh, we have a problem.
Issues.
Look at this. Definite problem there with some momentum. He went for a tail whip drop in off the castle drop, and unfortunately, oh, look at this. He's torn his shirt. So when we go back and look at this, we're definitely going to be able to find out what went wrong. Keep your eye on the back end of that bike. He does the tail whip. He lands real hard, and he does something. He buzzes his back there on the rear wheel. By doing that, you look, see his shirt got caught, and he went for some type of aerial move. I couldn't even begin to tell you what it was because there's just no speed for him to accomplish it.
So mechanical malfunction for Yannick Granieri of France. And it's interesting to note, on district ride, they are scored separately. So each of the 5 districts is scored separately.
So if you make a mistake on one, you still want to power through to try and make up points on those next districts.
And you are looking at 18-year-old Anthony Messere of Canada. Now, he is the FMB world-ranked #1 rider in the world, set to drop in here on the first district of 5.
Yeah, gets the tail whip here, no problems. He's got the speed, and it's going to be a flare. Nicely executed. You see how he just pulled that front end. The whole bike gets pulled around, and he spots his landing. Really cool to see that control.
Remember, Messere was here back when he was just 15 years of age, impressed everyone at the Red Bull District Ride, which included a double backflip. I don't know if he's going to have that today, but there's plenty of opportunities.
Certainly are, as he moves now to the GoPro upside down segment of this course. And he goes upside down here on the step down, but look at how close he was to the side, that right side of the landing ramp. He could have peeled off there. Moving on into the loop section, and he chooses to do the loop. You're going to be seeing some variations over that later on, I guarantee you. And a nice tail whip backflip, just squeaking it around.
So Messere comes up a little bit short. We'll see if that'll affect him the rest of the way. He has been relatively clean through the first 3 districts. Now remember, he's got the 5th district, which is an elevator ride to the 4th floor at City Hall. And this is amazing because they literally go out the window.
It sounds crazy when you say it like that. 360 down that step section. And so looking back so far at this run, lots of excitement, some pretty big tricks. The tail whip. Yannick had a problem with it. Anthony, not a worry. He continues the speed as he gets into the flare. Watch what he does with front wheel. He's going to tuck it right in there, and that brings around the last 180 of rotation. Here, it's just a straight backflip. However, you'll never see me going for it without the top loop and a tail whip backflip. You said he squeaked it around. He did. Just a little bit of a hang up there, but you know what? Judges aren't going to really give him too much drama for that. 360 off the step down, and now it's time to see what he's gonna do on this massive big air jump.
He has been shuttled up to the 4th floor of City Hall. Now this is 15-meter jump, and he's gone out the window, and this is where the start begins.
Wow, bar spin backflip, and he gets it, no drama. Nice.
Anthony absolutely sending it on District 5.
Keep your eye on the handlebars. He gets that. It's actually what they call a bus driver because he's keeping his hand on it as he passes the bars around. It's not a proper bar spin. It is the bus driver. Gets it all locked in there and puts down the landing gear. Not a problem for Messere.
So a great run for Anthony, standing by with Tina.
Anthony, give us your take on that run because I know you had some problems earlier in qualifiers with tires blowing out, but you did a full pull and you're now the new leader.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to get to the bottom and get a run that made me happy, and just stoked to be standing here at the bottom right now, It's not an easy course to make it through. It's long, it's difficult, and you're tired by the end, so just stoked to make it to the end.
Well, I think the smile says it all, and also you're the current leader in the overall FMB Diamond Series. How much is that playing in your mind?
I don't think about that. It doesn't matter to me. I love it. I go for it, but I find if I think about it too much, it just messes with my brain, so I tend to just leave it off the plate.
Well, you got one more run. Enjoy this atmosphere.
Thank you.
So Messere, your new leader, 80.86. And while we were away, Louis Reboul of France, 21 years of age, dropped in on his first run, and Ken, it was a pretty strong performance. His score is 77.88.
Definitely, I love the way he started it. He changed things up here, going off the kicker of the castle drop, so he got a little bit more air on that backflip and did a little bit different on the quarter pipe as well. He avoided it, did a nice channel, tabletop, and then it was into this double grab, no footer or cannonball as he made his way into the GoPro upside down section. But here he did a little something different. And thank you very much. I'll not be going upside down on the loop section there. No-handed backflip, commanded that as he moved his way through the rest of the course, picking up some speed for the final section. How about a 360 tail whip? Then it's onto the cannon where he bar spun up and just hucked a 360 off of it.
And then on the big air district section, he really shined.
Oh, definitely. How could you not? With a massive tail whip, backflip. Got a little scary there at the end, but you know what? He was pumped and decided to send a bike over the berm.
His score was a 77.88 for Louis Reboul. Also taking a run during the break, Thomas Lemon of France, 17 years of age. His score solid as well, a 62.62.
And he's combining tricks there with the no-hander to bar spin on that quarter pipe. Again, with the bar spin, here he's doing a backflip as he moved into the GoPro upside down section. Another rider who decided to take a different approach to that obstacle. Double truck driver 360, and then in the street cannon, bar spun up and tail whipped off. Slipped the pedals a little bit, but it was on to the big air.
After the elevator ride and out the window at City Hall, here we go.
He did a huge bar spin backflip, clipped the landing a little bit, so the judge is gonna be noticing that stuff. However, you made it all the way down through this incredible urban freeride course.
Thomas Genon, 21 years of age, out of Belgium, ranked 4th in the FMB right now. From Belgium, but trains in the south of France, and this guy, Kenan, can really shine on a course like this. Remember, 5 districts, and they all are graded separately.
He is a winner of the Joyride event as well in years past. So yeah, slopestyle, urban freeride, not a problem. Nice 360 off of that castle drop into the quarter. Oh yeah, that's an Indian Air seat grab. We haven't seen that all day. Judges are gonna like that. They're gonna like to see the riders do things a little bit differently.
Genon taking his time, the 21-year-old picking his way through as he comes up on the GoPro upside down district.
Well, you can see just a difference here in methodology. You know, a lot of the guys get overamped, and when you're riding, that can kind of spell disaster, so it's good. He's staying calm. 2 tricks in 1 air, no-hander to bar spin, moving into the GoPro upside down section of the course. Will he loop this or do something a little bit different? How about it? That certainly is different. Off access barrel roll or 360. That was really cool. First time we saw that. And how about a double tail whip straight away? Incredible riding. Again, another amazing and alley-oop 270. This rider is on fire right now.
So a good run so far by Genon, and remember, the first 4 districts as he wraps things up in the street cannon district. Now he gets to take the elevator ride up to the 5th and final district, which is the Big Air district.
Super excited about what I saw from Tomas. Just incredible innovation. We talked about that at the top of the show. 360 off the castle drop, and then he goes into the quarter pipe, grabs the seat, does an Indian air. That's new for us. We haven't seen that today. Then we get into the GoPro upside down section. He does a quick tuck no-hander to bar spin. Lots happening there in such a short air, but this is what I love. Watch the initiation. You think he's gonna flip, but it's a barrel roll and he lands completely traveling onto the other side of that obstacle. 1, 2 times around, finds his pedals, no problem, on that nice Alp dirt landing. Now, what's he gonna finish with here? I'm really excited because this is a very sick run he's got going.
At the top of City Hall, this is Tomas Genon of Belgium on the 5th and final district.
Yeah, huge off-access backflip, almost into a barrel roll. He's got those on lock. So, you know, looking back at this big air, I keep talking about off-access, and it's just the way he initiates this flip. Now, there's also a little extra flair in it. Watch, he goes over the shoulders a bit, and he cranks it. It's actually not an off-axis flip. It's in between a 360 tabletop and backflip. That is a stylish and innovative move all his own. So hats off to an amazing punctuation on a fantastic run.
Tomas Genon on run number 1. Score coming down, it will be an 86.58. So Genon goes into the lead. Brandon Semenuk, the 23-year-old from Whistler, British Columbia, FMB World Ranking, 2nd place. So a big win here would be huge for the Canadian.
And just cranking a big backflip can off the castle drop and straight into that 540 bar spin on the quarter pipe. That's a fantastic way to start your run here in the finals.
1 district down, 4 to go for Brandon Semenuk. 2014's been good to him so far, picking up a victory at Joyride at Crankworks Whistler.
And I just love the different methodology of this rider. He knows what it takes to be in a competition. He's keeping the nerves at bay here, staying really calm in between these sections. Bar spin backflip as he moves his way into the GoPro upside down section. We're gonna see that open top loop. What will he do off of it? And he's sticking to business here, Todd. Keeping it nice and safe. Now I say sticking to business, but at the end of the day, that's still pretty rad backflip. Double tail whip, getting the back end of that mountain bike, full-size mountain bike, just rotating around 720 degrees. And how about a 720 here? This time the entire bike does it.
So now it's Brandon Semenuk of Canada moving on to the street cannon district.
Really charging. The riders get a lot of speed to get on up. Bar spin up. 360 X up down. Now it is all about that elevator ride to the big air.
The Big Air district is all that awaits, and this has been a stellar run.
Yeah, well, I just love the way he does these backflips. He really cranks them around, and then he does the can-can. And watch how fast the bars rotate in that 540. Again, great style with that tail whip. The back end of the bike goes around 720 degrees. But this is what I loved. I haven't seen it all day. A 720 with rider and bike. Such a cool trick, one of my favorites. And then a 360 X up off that street cannon section over the steps. And now he is looking down at 75,000 people, and we are about to see what he's got for him.
So he's taken the 4-story elevator ride, gone out the window at City Hall, and now he is off.
Whoa, man, big slow bus driver. Backflip.
So Semenuk opting for the left side of this course as we look at this one more time. Doesn't look thrilled with the run, but that was strong.
He's a pretty sedate guy, you know, he keeps his emotions under control, lets his riding speak for him. Keep your eyes on his hands and the bars. Sets the backflip. He's watching the bars. He does the bus driver, keeping that right hand on the bars, passes along, and look, he snuck it in. Happened so fast, I didn't even see it in the actual trick, but it was a can-can. So you have 1, 2, 3 tricks: a backflip, a bus driver, and a can-can pull.
And the score for Semenuk of Canada, a 90.48, so he goes into the lead ahead of Thomas Genon and Anthony Messere. 21-year-old Brett Rheeder of Canada now on course.
Yeah, big backflip as he drops in off the castle. Into a nice flare on the quarter pipe. Have to point out, Todd, you know this rider had an injury last year, back injury. I also noticed that he's wearing a full face helmet. Really like to see that from these guys. All these freeride guys go so big. They're taking it to a completely different level. I personally don't feel the brain bucket style helmets are really gonna do it for you. And how about it? The confidence to do a tail whip backflip off the jump that most people are only doing straight backflips off. That's really impressive. Wearing that full face, at least for me when I rode, gave me a little more confidence.
So here we go, making his way through the GoPro upside down district, and you get a good idea of just how close the fans are to the riders. We're talking a matter of feet.
Oh, but an off-axis 720. Nicely done.
So the man that's currently ranked
What?
3rd on the FMB circuit.
Well, ranked 3rd for good reason. A bar spin front flip. Now into the street cannon section of the districts. Bar spin up, 360 down.
So 4 districts complete for Canada's Brett Rheeder, the young man coming off a big win in the Bear Claw Invitational. He is 4 districts complete, still 1 more to go.
Great initiation on that backflip off the castle drop and then straight into a flare here on the quarter pipe. Locks it down, no problem with both wheels. Later on, he does the tail whip backflip off of a jump that no one was really throwing such big tricks on. And then here, off axis, 720, really corked. And the bars spin around while he is rotating in a front flip. That's a blind maneuver. He cannot see the landing until the last possible second. Lots of talent.
So here's Rheeder on the Big Air District. Remember, the mark to beat put up by Semenuk of Canada, a 90.48.
Yeah, backflip tail whip performed perfectly by Rheeder. All bases covered in this run.
He also opts for the left side, but a perfect landing. That was so clean.
Yeah, definitely. He initiates the flip, gets that back end rotating. Such a bizarre trick because you're rotating the bike on 2 axes. So he's able to get that left foot back on his leading pedal, but more importantly, he's able to connect with that right. You saw him searching a little bit, but he has it on, and that's what gave him the great landing.
Well, Brett, you just took the lead with that run. How do you rate it?
How do I rate it? It's the best run I could have done in my first run. I mean, that's everything I was going for. So, I mean, -1 bar spin, but, you know, pretty good. Feeling pretty good to be down here with that spot. But Nikolai's just about to drop in here, so never know what could happen.
How closely are you watching the other guys? You do have 1 more run.
How close am I watching them? Yeah, like pretty close. There's a TV at the top, and we're just like glued to the TV. We're almost like, it's almost like surreal. You gotta watch people's runs. It's like you're watching TV show, just sitting down on the beanbags, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, let's go do my run now. You know, I'm gonna be part of this right now. It's pretty nerve-wracking.
Well, you're a part of it, and I know the crowd enjoyed it, as well as the judges. You got 1 more run, though, so best of luck.
Thank you.
So Brett Rheeder is our new leader. We have 1 rider left in run number 1, and it's our number 1 qualifier. 18-year-old Nikolai Rogatkin out of Lincoln, Massachusetts, ranked number 5 on the FMB World Circuit, the last man to drop in here on run number 1.
Nice tail whip drop in. Getting a little speed wobbles there as he makes his way into a massive 540. None bigger today. Holy smokes, man. Rogatkin really charging here. Full face helmet on, he means business. Ryder comes from a BMX background, so a lot of these tricks are like second nature.
The former 2013 BMX Dirt World Champion making the switch over to mountain biking. And here he goes now in the GoPro Upside Down District.
Double tail whip, yes! So hard to do. The jump's got less air than some of the bigger kickers at the end of the course, so you really got to get that bike rotating. Nice alley-oop to dead stop, and unfortunately goes down. But remember, you're judged on the specific districts, not the complete run. You got to add them all together, so he still can make a dent in this competition.
He still has 3 more districts to go, including the 4-pack district up next, then the street cannon district, and of course, the big air district to finish things off. Rogatkin with a nice run through this section, picking up the momentum, Kenan. It looked like he might have problems with speed.
What?
Not the case.
Definitely not. Squeezed it out. Lots of rotations. Getting into the street cannon district, charging right here. This is where all the riders pick up a lot of speed for this next section. And we've seen that a few times today, a bar spin up to tail whip off.
Well, remember, the leading score right now, put up moments ago by Brett Rheeder, was a 92.05, and here's where Rogatkin had his problems.
Yeah,
Big
it was
hang-up.
a disaster. Literally, that's the name of what he just did. When you hang the back wheel over a lip like this, keep your eye on it, back wheel disappears, he hangs up. It's called a disaster, and that took away his speed and his balance, and that's what put him over the side. But a front flip no-hander, nice way to recover into the strangest 720 I've ever seen, almost like a cash roll that we've seen from riders in the BMX circuit like Daniel Dares do, but a little bit different.
All right, here we go, Big Air District, as Nikolai Rogatkin, the final competitor here in run number 1, is set to drop in.
Triple tail whip pulled off perfectly on the right-hand kicker.
So a fall in district number 2, but he comes back strong in district 5, the 18-year-old American with a tremendous performance.
So he initiates this with both his arms and his left foot, so he gets the first one. The second one is done by pumping the handlebars around, as is the third. 3 tail whips pulled perfectly and in the nick of time.
And the score for Rogatkin is going to be a 68.03, so District 2 really hurt him, but a strong finish.
Well, one of the nice things about this event is you are judged in districts, but walk us through what happened in that upside down district.
I just came a little too fast into it. It's kind of hard to judge speed with the transfer I'm doing. Just cased a bit and slid out, but got back up and finished my run. Awesome atmosphere here, and just glad to be here at the bottom. It's cool.
You're staying so positive. You know, with another run, how important is that?
Oh, it's so important, but I like staying positive. I'm lucky enough to be here riding, so one little crash in the middle of my run's not gonna make me devastated. So I just have to go back up and do it again, and that's what riding's about, making it happen.
Looking forward to it.
Love the positive attitude as we go back to the top of the course here in Nuremberg. We start run number 2. Remember, it's a 2-run format. We only keep your best score. Carson Storch, the 21-year-old out of Bend, Oregon. Now, run number 1, he threw down a 75.21. So, Kenan, he's got the goods.
Starting off nice and strong. What's he got for us? Quarter pipe, tail whip. Staying a little bit safer here. Now, I know that's hard to say, but when you've seen backflip variations thrown off the castle drop, it really kind of makes you have to strain a little bit in this competition if you want to get on the podium.
Place 8th at Red Bull Joyride at Crankworks Whistler this year.
Nice off-axis 360, but comes down a little low and hits the cobblestones.
Looks to be okay. The good news, Kenan, you get graded per each district, not the overall ride, but with the level of competition we have here with a fall like that, it's going to be difficult to be at the top.
Yeah, he was definitely overamped as he went into it, and you could see where he lands. Just blow out the back wheel. You see a little spray. Back wheel hit so hard that he lost pressure.
So the day is done, unfortunately, for American Carson Storch. His first run score of 75.21 will have to stand, and there you see the blowout on the back tire that Kenan was referring to. So it's a long walk down to the 5th district for Storch as we head back to the top of the course. This is Szymon Godziek, just 22 years of age, originally from Poland.
He rides the big mountains. He rides slopestyle. He's a very accomplished rider, really versatile here on these mountain bikes. X up 360 in, locks into a position, and now he does the flare. A lot of the tricks we're seeing here today will cross over between BMX bikes that are a 20-inch wheelbase, and then you also have these mountain bikes which are 26 or sometimes 29 inches. And that's a lot more difficult to get rotating. BMX bikes, you can spin a lot easier. These guys have their work cut out for them, and that's why it's so impressive to see what they're doing here today. Moving into the GoPro upside down section, picking up some speed.
So Godziek making his way through the course, smile on the face, and you can get a good look at just how close the fans are. Ken, this is amazing. In some instances, they are inches away from the rider.
Yeah, definitely. It's almost like you're running the gauntlet when you do it. How about a Superman double seat grab? Really stretch bar spin out of the berm here and into this big kicker front flip, no worries. Yeah, fist pumping as he makes his way into the street cannon district.
In the streets of Nuremberg, Godziek now coming through the street cannon.
And he's made it all the way through the first set of districts. But it's the final district that everyone's waiting for, Todd. You know what's coming.
75,000 fans waiting for this finale, and here we go at the top of it again. Godziek looking very clean.
Definitely was with that flare on the quarter pipe, and then as he moved his way into the GoPro upside down district with this bar spin backflip. Well done. But the next trick, I love seeing it. It's a double seat grab Superman. This is where variation comes into play because he really stretched it out and also got himself a nice job with the front flip.
So Godziek has made the elevator ride up to the 4th floor of City Hall, passed outside the window, and now he will roll down into the square and hit the last 15-meter jump at some serious speed. How about that view?
Yes, and he pulls off a huge bar spin backflip, bringing it back down to Mother Earth. The nice Alp dirt that they trucked in here today.
92.04 is the mark to beat put up by Canada's Brett Rheeder.
There's the bar spin. More like a bus driver because he isn't taking his hands off. He passes it around. Has the rotation. Now's where he's spotting the landing. Now remember, he's about 30 feet above the ground. He has a lot of time to think about this landing, and he brings it down 2 wheels at the same time. Love the way the suspension just helps him out with that.
And the score for Godziek is a 78.75 on run number 2. Well, while we're away, Yannick Granieri, 27-year-old out of France, run number 1, problematic when his shirt got hooked up with his bike.
Yeah, and he still had a few fumbles as well on this second run where he dabbed on that tail whip coming off the castle drop. Moving his way down into the GoPro upside down section, he had a bar spin backflip and then charged his way into this really bizarre feature where he looped it no problem. Continuing on with a backflip tail whip. Again, a little bit of a dab, but he kept the momentum going. And he's got such a great style with his 360 tail whips.
And on the final feature, it would be a full pull for the Frenchman.
And here he was going for the backflip no-hander, but unable to get the bars where he wanted them so he could take the hands off.
It is now about Anthony Messere, just 18 years of age, and he sits atop the world rankings.
Yeah, gets that tail whip in, little back wheel as he comes into this flare on the quarter pipe, really high, highest one I've seen all day. Looking down at his bike though, that's a little nerve-wracking. Let's hope that everything's functioning properly as he makes his way down to the next district.
Remember, the mark to beat is a 92.04 put up by fellow Canadian Brett Rheeder. He leads this event and he still has his second run to go.
Coming into the GoPro upside down district. Bar spin backflip pulled off perfectly.
So whatever the problem was, it seems to have worked itself out as Messere making his way through this section very clean.
Now it's into some of the kickers here. Big step up, tail whip backflip, gets it this time. You saw him squeak by earlier today. Bar spin off the berm as he moves his way into the next jump. Front flip, no-hander, and he manuals a little bit, shaking his head, because if he looped out, that would have hurt.
So that was the 4-pack district. Now it's onto the street cannon district for Messere.
Truck driver, 360 off the steps. Time now to take that ride and make to the, what I like to call, the next district is more like a Hot Wheels track than anything else. But looking back here, tail whips, lands back wheel, gets a little hard, but watch how high he goes on this flare. Nice pump off the transition in that quarter pipe, and a great landing into the GoPro upside down district. The bars spin, he spots the landing, not a problem on that step down. Moving on. The backflip tail whip had a little trouble earlier today, but he gets it clean on that pass in run number 2. Truck driver to finish things off in the street cannon district, and it's now all about the big air.
What do we got here?
We got a little
dirt on the hands.
Yeah, these guys aren't wearing gloves. The dirt acts as talcum powder like a gymnast getting on the parallel bars, but we keep it a little bit realer. These guys like to be close to the earth.
Here's Messere opting for the left side.
Yeah, double! Bus driver goes down so hard, but he's up. Woo! So nerve-wracking.
Talk about sending it. Anthony Messere absolutely flies on District 5.
Well, you know, we talked about the pressure of being at top. He saw the run that the other riders threw down. He had to get back up on top of that podium. The bar spin, he initiates the bar spin or the bus driver, but then he does another one. So it's bus driver, catch, bus driver. He's crooked here, yanks the bars around, but by doing that, his body is now off axis and he's over-rotating the loop. And you can see just spills over to the side of him there. The dirt is not as soft as you'd think, folks. Definitely a bit of an impact on the side of your body there, but good to see him jump right back up.
71.85 does him no good. He'll hold on to the 80.86. While we were away, Thomas Genon of Belgium, 21 years of age. Now remember, run number 1 was pretty solid, Kenan. He threw down an 86.58.
Definitely, he was one of the more innovative riders we saw in that first run, and here he came right back out and did some more innovation for himself. He had squeezed out that double tail whip and dabbed just a little bit, but then in the next section, he kind of toned it down even more with just straight bar spins in that GoPro step down, and then here, once again, doing that off-axis rotation and throwing a little style in as well. Double tail whip as he makes his way, coming on out with that 270 out of that berm. Just a really great job, but again, here's another missed opportunity. So his first run was definitely the more impressive of the two.
Genon was sitting on that 86.58. Run number 2 would not be as good, but it's worth looking at one more time, the Big Air District.
And once again, finish things up with that 360 off-axis tabletop.
He gets a 61.98. He holds on to run number 1 in an 86.58. As we go back to the top of the course, this is Canada's Brandon Semenuk. First run score was a 90.48. The 23-year-old from Whistler, British Columbia, set to attack his second run.
Very similar to the first run with that can-can backflip. Whoa, using all the real estate on that quarter pipe landing with that 540 bar spin.
Now remember, he's looking for a victory here at District Ride, but also looking for the overall title, currently sitting in second place in the FMB World Ranking.
Moving his way to the second district. A little fan there with his own unique noisemaker, that rim. Yes! Oh, and again, look at how he gets with these tail whip backflips. I mean, he was landing and he was mere inches from the edge of the landing ramp. Oh, a real hard landing, pulls out way far on that, I suppose it's a loop initiator. Double tail whip, running into a little bit of a problem here with just squeezing around some of these moves. Oh, man.
The
720.
4-pack district has been good to Semenuk. onto the street cannon district.
Sticking to business, bar spin up, X up 360 down. Now it's all about the final district, the big air.
So we'll look back at the first 4 districts as Brandon Semenuk takes a 4-story elevator ride to the top.
Yeah, and how about a 1-story drop off the castle into a 540 bar spin. And then it was time to go to the GoPro upside down district. Tail whip, backflip, watch where he lands. Any more to the right, and that would have been disastrous. The double tail whip just gets squeaked on. And then the 720, if you watch, it happens in an instant, even in slow-mo. He spun the bars. Didn't even see that during the actual portion of his run. So good job, this guy's a surgeon.
So Semenuk now at the top of City Hall has exited the window, and that's what lies in front of him, the final district. It is the Big Air District, and Brandon Semenuk is set to go. So much on the line on this last jump, the FMB World title and the District Ride title.
Yeah, and he pulls it off safe. He got himself a nice couple of variations in there. A backflip, bar spin to can-can. So he gets himself ready, gets his body in there, does the bar spin bus driver portion of it, and then he takes that right foot and sticks it on over into a can-can position, pulls it back onto the right pedal, and lands and rides off into the arms of 75,000 rabid fans.
92.04 is the mark to beat, and Semenuk's score coming down, and he goes into first place. Brandon Semenuk is your new leader with a 92.87. And here's our current standings as it stands right now. Brandon Semenuk with a 92.87 is your leader. Brett Rheeder sits in second, and Tomasz Genon in third. So Semenuk sits and waits for our next rider, who is his biggest threat, not only to take away his win here today at District Ride, but the overall 2014 FMB Diamond Series title, and that is Brett Rheeder. He is sitting on a 92.04, which has him in second place, but Kenan, the Canadians are charging hard this year, and he would love to pull off this victory here in Nuremberg.
Goes for the backflip, but I didn't see a variation out of it. Now remember, these guys have been doing some variations off of that drop from the castle.
So the Castle Drop District complete. Rheeder now making his way onto District number 2, which is the GoPro Upside Down District. Remember, this is a guy coming off a back injury last year, broke his back, and here he is competitively riding once again on the Diamond Series.
And riding in incredible form with that backflip tail whip, moving on into the second feature of this district. Let's see if he chooses to do something a little bit different. No, he's just going to go for the straight backflip loop here.
Makes it look so easy.
Off access 720, lands nicely. Bar spin out of the berm and into the final jump in this district. Front flip gets off the side. It's not going to be enough, obviously, now for him to take the win.
Disappointment for Brett Rheeder. Remember, he was trying to take down Brandon Semenuk, who has the high score, 92.87. Rheeder already on the podium with a 92.04. But Kenan, it leaves you thinking what could have been.
Well, knowing Brett and knowing the type of competitor he is, he's going to get back up to the top of this landing ramp and charge out the remainder of this run in districts. And guaranteed there's going to be some excitement to come here in just a few moments.
So we still got the Street Cannon District to come, and then it's the Big Air District, and that's where the majority of the fans are waiting. Remember, 75,000 fans here in Nuremberg to watch this amazing event. So 4 districts complete for Rheeder. Unfortunately, there was a fall on District 3. Let's go back to the top.
Right, you see this backflip, there's no variation in it. Earlier in the competition, his first run, he had one. Here, landing low, getting a little bit of that bobble in his head when he lands. Judges are looking for perfection. The tail whip backflip pulled off nicely on the GoPro upside down section. And how about an off-axis 720? Just really cranking the rotations around. Watch this bar spin front flip, gets his right foot off and then unable to connect with the rubber side down.
So Rheeder now making the journey in the elevator to the top of City Hall, out the window. He's got two options here. There's two kickers. A lot of guys opting for the left-hand side. We'll see which one Rheeder decides to go for. This is the final feature.
Yeah, look at that, throwing the bars and getting his hands off, all while upside down.
So a great finish for Canada's Brett Rheeder. Look at it one more time. A lot involved here, but Canada, unfortunately, he did have the fall earlier, and that's going to cost him some serious points.
Yeah, man, blink and you'll miss it. Almost did first time round. Watch the bars. He throws them there, gets the bus driver, bar spins done nicely. Nice wide bars to get whipping around like that, tucks them into his lap, and he's able to do the no-hander. Driving his bike with his hips, he then brings it back down to Mother Earth where that full suspension bike does the rest.
So Brett Rheeder was sitting on a 92.04, looking to overtake Brandon Semenuk, and this score is not going to help him out, at 73.87. So he remains in second place for the time being, and there is Brandon Semenuk, our current leader. One rider stands between him and the top of the podium, and that is the #1 qualifier, Nikolai Rogatkin, out of the United States, just 18 years of age. First run score had a few issues. Kenan laid down a 68.03, but that can all go away if he can top Semenuk's 92.87.
Yep, he's just got to stay on the bike, and so far so good. Certainly some big airs here on the Castle Drop District. This guy likes to send it, Todd. I mean, he is really going big today.
#5 on the FMB World Rankings, Rogatkin now making his way to the second district. This is the GoPro Upside Down District.
You see these guys got to be real careful when coming in because they pick up so much speed, and this is a step down that you'll want to land in the sweet spot, and he doesn't.
Rogatkin doing such a great job of making the transition last year from BMX to mountain biking.
As I mentioned earlier, this is where we went down, and as I mentioned earlier, you know, that BMX background is going to be key because a lot of the tricks cross over. Once you figure out how to get that big bike rotating, no problem, no-handed front flip, I think Rogatkin's figured it out quite well. Amazing 720 style on that cash roll, off-axis rotation.
So clean through 3 districts, now it's on to the Street Cannon District.
Muscling around that tail whip. He's on now to the final district. You know, looking back on this one, though, I have to say, definite improvement. He got the transfer he wanted while at the GoPro Upside Down District, whereas before he fell.
High fives to the fan, literally in the middle of his run.
Yep, definitely a hands-on experience here. 2 tail whips as he gets off that castle drop, and then a massive 540. Love it. It's like watching a vert competition where he's just charging it. We step on board with his GoPro view on the GoPro Upside Down District double tail whip, and how about getting a front flip no-hander pulled off here at District Ride. And this trick, I love it. Not a lot of guys doing a rotation quite like that while doing it in a 720.
So it all comes down to this, the final district for Nikolai Rogatkin. It'll be either him or Brandon Semenuk. He needs a 92.88, and the victory is his. Anything less, and it goes the way of the Canadian Semenuk.
Oh, no!
Well, he's able to run away from that in spectacular fashion, but Kennedy, it went all wrong after he got airborne.
Definitely. Keep your eye on the rotation of that back end. You got to use the front end of the bike, and he hits himself. He actually tried to reinitiate, so he hit his legs. It stopped him dead, but this guy was going to think about rotating again. But look at the time in the air and falling from 30 feet. He's able to get up, just tuck and roll. One more look, one rotation. The front wheel hit him and killed the rotation at that back end. Man, that is incredible. Glad he got up.
Basically jumping out of a 3-story window as Nikolai Rogatkin able to walk away from that one. But what it does mean, Brandon Semenuk, the 2014 Red Bull District Ride Champion. As we take a look at the final standings, Semenuk with the win, Rheeder in second, and Tomasz Genon in the top 3. Unfortunately for Rogatkin, he ends up in 8th place, a tremendous performance by all of our athletes. A look at the FMB Diamond Series standings. Brandon Semenuk now on top with Messere and Rheeder going 2 and 3. Congratulations to Brandon Semenuk for stepping it up on his second run. After qualifying third and coming in second behind Brett Rheeder in his final run, Brandon knew he had to take care of business for run number 2. With tricks that included a blind flip whip and backflip in the open loop in the GoPro upside down district, and a stylish backflip bar spin to 1-foot can at the big jump in the big air district, Brandon catapulted himself not only to the top of the podium, but to the top of the 2014 FMB Diamond Series standings with only one stop to go, Red Bull Rampage. Congratulations to Brandon Semenuk on capturing the Red Bull signature moment here at District Ride.
Brandon Semenuk showing us why he's one of the best out there. And Brandon, you came through on that second run, but how calculated did you have to be?
Yeah, like everyone had super good first run, so just had to step it up and do stuff I've never done in an event before. So it was good, just happy to make it to the bottom. There's definitely a couple areas where it was a little bit of a slip up, so I left room open for the other athletes, but you know, everyone's just pushing it that much more in their second runs that it's just that much harder to get, so I got lucky.
Well, and you and Brett Rheeder have this rivalry going on, but you were down here closely watching his second run. Walk us through that for you.
Yeah, I'm not really saying a rivalry, but he's definitely the kid that's killing at every event. So if there's someone to beat, it's going to be him, and that's basically it.
Pushing each other. Well, congratulations. Enjoy this when it was your day.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Guys.
All right, thank you very much, Tina. Kenan, what can you say? Brandon Semenuk, clearly the dominant rider here in Bavaria. And with that, we send it back over to Sal Masekela.
An amazing party here in Nuremberg, Germany for Red Bull District Ride. Congratulations to Brandon Semenuk. Once again, we thank you for spending your time and hanging out with us. We'll see you guys next time. Auf Wiedersehen.